everybody. My name is Srijani Bhadri, and a very, very special guest has joined us today. Please welcome Mr. Amit Nigam, who is the founder of Jotish. He was the past founder of CheckGaadi.com and is also experienced across several other corporate companies like SAP, Redbus, Honeywell, Bosch, and Harman. He has a very, very dynamic personality and approaches all problems with a very, very creative mind. It's a pleasure to have you with us today, sir.
Thank you, Srijani.
Thank you so much. So my first question would be, can you share your journey and what exactly inspired you to start Jyotish and earlier CheckGaadi.com?
I think I'm primarily driven by the flexibility and entrepreneurial journey offers uh, to kind of, not worry about stepping on somebody else's toes, completely being responsible for successes or failures, basically the outcomes of your own efforts. That is a tremendous superpower, I think, and that drives me to put my best efforts. No excuses. If you don't do it, it won't get done. It's as simple as that. There is no one to delegate. Yeah, I think primarily my motivation is about creating something new and being totally responsible for it. For the outcomes, it could be positive, it could be negative. The negative is basically a temporary setback until you kind of bounce back and get better. So it's kind of, it's a win-win situation.
Thank you so much. So my next question would be, what is the core vision and mission of Jyotish? Because I'm very, very curious.
Srijani, I think I lost you a little bit, again, because of some patchy network, perhaps.
Yeah, I'll just repeat the question. So, what exactly is the core vision and mission of Jyotish? Because the company seems really, really cool, and I would like to know more about it.
Okay, thank you. Basically, there are two different polar opposites, here. Some people believe in astrology, some people don't believe in astrology, and then there are, different stages in between, right? The purpose is not really to convert one to the other side. But when the going gets tough, people are looking for some reassurance, some guidance, some clarity. And if someone comes to you and then offers you some remedies, offers you some clarity, right? You choose to believe it or you don't believe it, it is completely up to you. But I think end of the day, it ends up achieving the objective of boosting your morale and giving you that little fuel to fight for another day, right? So I think if we are able to do that successfully, we would have succeeded in our mission.
Thank you so much. That was really, really insightful. So my next question will be with respect to technology. So how does technology influence the way Jyotish delivers its astrological services?
Okay, so I have always been into tech. So tech comes very naturally to me. Been in tech for last 24 years. Now, when I say the following, I say it with a lot of responsibility. See, in a lot of startups or even larger enterprises, there is some bit of an attempt sometimes to force fit technology into the use cases, right? Because it kind of sounds cool if you haven't integrated, any OpenAI APIs, then you're somehow, not arrived. So I think it fundamentally depends on the nature of the business and the practical insights that you gain out of your own experience as to whether you should or how much you should invest into technology, essentially, right? For example, I mean, this is again a personal opinion. Whatever astrological insights, one can get, you can also get through various chatbots, right? But when people come to a astrology platform, they're in a sense looking for some reassurance, some empathy, which a machine wouldn't offer. At least, machines have not evolved at this time to the extent that it can give you like a 100% human like interaction experience, right? So at the end of the day, people ask me, why do you have astrologers? Why can't you do this through a trained chat GPT, custom chat GPT, right? I mean, it's not a question of whether you can or you cannot. It is not an intellectual challenge for me. It is about the mission, the earlier question that you asked, what exactly uh, is your core mission? Our mission is to empower people, uh, boost their morale, lift their spirits to fight for another day, and which I believe is best done through a human-to-human interaction rather than bringing in a chatbot and then it's not about just an answer. It's about how you give that answer. It is also about who gives that answer, right? So that is when it becomes more effective, it's more believable. And so that was just an example of how much a role a technology plays. Of course, we are a tech platform, we are a two-sided marketplace. We have, on one side, customers, and other side we have astrologers, and depending on whom you like, you can just initiate a conversation with them. So it's a pure play tech platform. We have a whole lot of AI at the back end as well. So it is not that we are not using the high-end tech. It is just about being responsible and practical about where to deploy those.
Thank you so much. That was definitely a very, very fresh perspective. So, as you mentioned, there is a lot of human to human interaction going on at Jyotish. And that is one thing which lots of budding business people or entrepreneurs face at the beginning, including me, which is getting to know the customers and how to facilitate proper, meaningful interactions with them. So, what are your tips in a situation like this?
Well, again, this could be controversial, but it is just my take on it. Uh, a lot of people believe in doing a lot of research, surveys, uh, you know, but I believe in kind of trying it out first, right? Of course, you have to start from somewhere. So you will have done your basic research. You would have had some interactions with customers. But my experience of all these years has been that, customers typically say one thing and then behave differently, right? For example, if you're asking a question, hey, I am going to come up with a proposition like this, do you think you'll use it? So people don't want to be, rude. So usually they say that, of course, this is interesting. They just want to kind of, boost your morale. Uh, they want to encourage you. So generally, nobody will say that, hey, I wouldn't use it because of so and so reasons. They would generally try to encourage you in your own goals. So it is one thing to say that you will use it. It's another thing completely to actually go ahead and use it. And yet another level is to pay and use it, right? So nobody knows for sure. So you start somewhere, you have a basic generic understanding. And that's where
Yeah, I'm so sorry. There was a lot of network issues on my end. I rejoined. Yeah, please continue.
no problem. Um, if you could just help me with the from until what time you heard this answer?
Yeah, I my network was fine till the time you mentioned that we have to first try it out with the customer. And you were mentioning about the customer trying to be polite in the surveys.
Okay, yeah. So essentially, nobody knows, right? So you start somewhere. You have to have a basic generic understanding of what your customers want. Also, try to look for some motivation, around you, based on some successful businesses, different business models that work, all that. So we are all logical people. We start somewhere, but then it is also not just about being a Me Too player in the market, right? So it's also about how are you different? That's the question that everybody is going to ask, right? If I have choices, then should I go to Amazon or should I go to Flipkart? Should I take an Uber? Should I take an Ola? So it is, sometimes, I mean, of course, these are probably wrong examples, essentially, because sometimes customers don't have a choice. You are standing on the street, whether Ola comes or Uber, you want to go from A to B. It's as simple as that. But, having said that, it is about, having that vision in mind as to how are you going to position yourself differently. Okay, so in that sense, you have a hypothesis. Maybe that hypothesis is for some future development, but where you start is maybe a simple product that people can just experience, right? And I believe that's a good starting point. And then the trick is in rapid experimentation, quickly trying new things and seeing what gives you a lift, what doesn't, and then kind of go one step at a time. So success is not just one giant feature launch or some magic that happened overnight. It is about a series of small improvements that will lead you there, right? And sometimes you would not even know if this small improvement has actually been an improvement in any quantifiable sense. But then it is about continuously trying and then looking back and seeing what worked, what didn't.
Thank you so much. So my last question for today would be, what advice would you give to someone who is looking to start a company in a very new domain like you have?
Well, I think quoting Steve Jobs, stay hungry, stay foolish, but then stay curious. And I think trick is in doing stuff. Always be curious, look around. Opportunities are everywhere. People say that machine learning, artificial intelligence is eating the world, but then you look at opportunities. There are innovations happening every day, right? So these are not the excuses. Then we have to think differently. We have to make that force work for you, not against you, right? One thing is for sure, that world as we knew it for all these decades is not going to be the same. It's changed for good forever. So therefore, our perspectives in which we evaluate opportunities, we look at the world, should also change or evolve with time. So therefore, I think it is about having that fire in the belly, uh, trying to prove something to yourself, not competing with others, just trying to become a better version of yourself on a daily basis. I think that's what my parting words would be.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a very, very insightful and a very, very motivating chat with you today. Thank you so much for joining us today once again.
My pleasure, Srijani. All the best to you.